Okay, so I wanted to talk about the issue with some of the supporters of Trayvon Martin and how they did some things that were wrong, and whether everybody else that supports Trayvon Martin should be held accountable, or should maybe we should pass some laws that would restrict their freedoms and their rights, all those people, regardless of whether they actually took part in the crime, because we just need to do something about the fact that people do things wrongly with their freedoms. For example, if we had a group of young black people that were protesting, should everybody now, that whenever there's that kind of a group together, should they all be, the rest of the world around them be concerned that they might attack? Maybe all the stores will close their doors and lock them because this might happen to them. Maybe there will be laws passed that say that these young groups can't gather because of the activities of this particular group. Well, let's take a look at what I'm talking about.
Students are possibly facing charges after this. They were caught on camera running through a drugstore while protesting Martin's death. The high schoolers knocked over shelves and more during this protest. And now, some of these students caught in the middle of it all are telling their story. Local 10's crime specialist John Turchin is live in North Miami Beach with their story.
Well, this is a copy of the videotape right here, and this is where it happened, right over my shoulder. This is the Walgreens at the corner of 163rd Street and 15th Avenue, and approximately 400 kids were marching peacefully through this parking lot last Friday protesting what happened to Trayvon Martin, when some in the crowd decided to take it a little bit further.
It was a mob scene. Dozens of teenagers stormed the store, scaring employees and terrorizing customers as they ran up and down the aisles, screaming, knocking over merchandise, and destroying displays. We did not.
So, we see what they're doing. It happened more than once. So, in the same sense that everybody now wants to take away the right of law-abiding citizens to carry guns, because remember, the right to carry a gun is a right on par with the right to free speech, or the right to go where you want and do what you want. So if we're going to restrict people's right in any way, then we should restrict the rights of those who we feel could be a problem. Now, of course, I don't believe that should be the case, and of course I don't believe that we should ever restrict the rights of anybody who's innocent or not guilty of crimes. I'm just making a point. And the point is, you can't restrict people's rights just because you're afraid of their rights, because you're afraid that they might use their rights wrongly. Believe me, most of us are afraid of a group of 400 kids, but we don't restrict their right to gather. But if we continue to allow the government to restrict our rights, then in any way, then they may restrict the rights of kids to gather. In fact, may make it to where they have a maximum amount, 10 people, 8 people.
Accept any type of violation on the part of our students. There ought to be consequences, and we'll be collaborating with whatever law enforcement entity is investigating that issue.
The students.
I'd sure like to know what they found out about that and what's been done. I mean, it seems like they're just treating this like it's no big deal.
10 North Miami Beach Senior High. This is some of the damage. Local 10 obtained these photos taken by Walgreens.
We didn't mean to tear up the store,
I don't think they was doing it for, to be malicious or whatever. That was just in the moment where they weren't really thinking right.
So they weren't trying to be bad. They just weren't thinking right. So when you get all these kids together, what she's telling us is that they can be dangerous just because they're not thinking right. They just get in the moment. So, I don't know. That's pretty bad. You shouldn't be, admitting that you've got a problem that you can't control yourself.
It was so angry.
It showed bad character because that's not what we're out there for. So a few just made us look really bad.
I don't want any.
And that's the point. The few can make all the rest of everybody else look bad, and it's not fair to the ones that didn't do anything wrong.
To be represented like this.
I spoke with dozens of NMB students this afternoon as class let out and showed them the video.
See everybody rushing it?
They crazy. Wow.
Ignorance.
Some students actually admitted being part of the rampage.
I am not gonna lie. I was one of them people that was pushing up there because I was mad. That was me, right?
She was mad, so that's a good excuse. I was mad, so I can go in there and bust people's stuff up and steal whatever I want.
I'm running right there. You see me with the jacket?
That's me right there. You just saw that turn. That just turned and there was the first person. That was me right there.
Don't you think this hurt your cause by people tearing through and knocking things over and destroying the place and stealing things?
Yeah, kind of did, yeah. I was just angry. I don't know what the rest of them were doing, but all I'm doing is I was just trying to make a point for Trayvon. That's it.
So it was okay to destroy other people's property because you're making a point for Trayvon. He was saying everybody else was in the wrong, but he was okay. So in his mind, he still believes it was perfectly okay because he was making a point for Trayvon.
Fortunately, no one was hurt, and fortunately, the school's vice principal, the man you see right there in the yellow shirt, rushed in and ordered his students to leave immediately.
I just don't want them to consider us as, untamed children because that's.
Well, people are only going to consider you what they see. So if you're going to do that, then of course they're going to consider that.
Not what we are. We're better than that. We're bright kids.
Well, I'm sure you are bright kids. Unfortunately, you're not using your potential. And unfortunately, people are suffering for it. Anyhow, good talking to you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.